Hi, it's Steve from Seaside Allotment. I'm just back from the allotments and it's time for a kitchen garden tour. So all of these cherry trees are finished now. Unfortunately, we did get almost all of them. Lost very few to the birds. The only thing that's fruiting down here now is this pear tree, Williams pear tree. It's only got 3 pears on, but it is only its second year, so pretty happy with that. And it's pretty windy at the moment, so these tomatoes have been taken down. Oops. But we've had quite a few off these hanging baskets. They need a good water now though. Anyway, not doing too bad. Let's have a look in the garden. So this is my kind of substitute greenhouse. I find it's a lot easier to grow on the patio than to grow in the greenhouse on the allotment, because A, it's too hot in the greenhouse, and B, it's just a lot easier to keep things watered here. So some of this is autumn stuff, well, in fact all of it's autumn stuff, and some of it will last into winter. There's a whole load of different stuff here. Shall we just go through it? So we've got some purslane, some lettuces, spring onions, more purslane, Savoy cabbages, some more lettuces, some leeks. I know it's way too late for leeks, but I thought I'd give it a go, just like experimenting. Chard, golden beets, Salanova lettuces, red spring onions, just ordinary green spring onions, and calabrese. I know also very late, but I forgot all about planting calabrese, so anyway, it's in now. Some radicchio, some more lettuce, some dwarf French beans. I'll tell you about the dwarf French beans when I actually get down to do another allotment tour on my plot, which will be about 3 weeks' time. Why am I growing dwarf French beans now? Some red cabbage, some sprouts, so these are ready to go in now. Some half-height sprouts. Again, they're a bit late, but I've got a bit of space opening up, so I thought, well, I'll try some late sprouts, see how they go. Some curly kale, some more lettuces, some chard, and some collard greens. So quite a nice selection there. We'll be moving down the allotment. Most of this, pretty much all of this, will have gone by the next tour and be replaced by my winter crops. So on the last tour, almost all the potato pots still had potatoes in them. A couple of them got blight, and so I decided to take the tops off all of them, and quite a lot of them I've cropped and replanted. So these have all been replanted with Maris Piper, and as you can see, they're doing pretty well. I didn't even bother earthing these up actually. I just planted them at the bottom of the pot and just let them grow all the way up, and they grew fine. So these are about a month old. That's about 2 weeks old, and then these 3, I don't know, 1.5 weeks old, something like that. And the first sign of life is just breaking through. Now these are a bit low, these pots, so these probably will be earthed up. And then these 3 buckets over here, I've just got potatoes in them, um, just ready for harvesting. I just took the tops off. And last time we did a tour, we didn't have any ripe blackberries, but as you can see now, we have quite a lovely crop of blackberries ready for picking. So Dewey's going to pick those tonight, and we've got plenty still to come. So that's going really nicely. And then over here we've got the tomato plant that I was raving about last tour, and it's doing just as well as I was hoping. It was really cropping really heavily. Got our little herb garden, and this is a beet bed, Boltardi here, bull's blood at the back, and they're all ready. And so we're eating those as quickly as we can. This is the perpetual strawberry bed. It's meant to crop all year round. To be honest, I'm not a massive fan of it so far. The strawberries have been okay, but not brilliant. Nowhere near as good as the strawberries in those beds there, which are different varieties. Now, these are my first ever grapes, so I'm quite excited. The ones in people's greenhouses on the allotment are obviously massively further on than these, but I don't have a big greenhouse to put grapes in, so I just have to be content with what I've got. Now these are the golden beetroot, and when I did the last tour I don't think we'd eaten any of them, but God, we've eaten a lot of them since. We absolutely love them. And when I planted this, I had to plant the seedlings under fleece because they were so spindly and unhealthy. And somebody commented they'll probably turn out to be the best beets you've ever planted, and they were right. So I've now got 3 more beds the same size as this one, planted up on the allotment with golden beets for autumn, for keeping storage. And unfortunately these will not last very long because we're eating at least one every 2 days. So I have loads of onions on the allotment, but as an experiment we planted some very late in this bed to see if we could actually get anything, and it actually looks like we might actually get some small onions, even though we only planted these a few weeks ago. So yeah, not too bad. And I've interplanted them with chard because quite soon, at least in a month's time anyway, this will be a chard bed, and then this will last us well into the winter. And we like to have a chard bed here because we use chard at least every other day, and sometimes we just don't go down to the allotment, so it's nice to be able to pick it from here. And this is my perennial kale, and you can see that this one has been really ravaged by something. It must be caterpillars, but I've never seen a caterpillar on here, so I'm not really sure. But something's eaten it, and I just never find anything on here. The big one has had a bit of damage, but it's kind of thrown it off and is doing okay. I'm assuming it'll all recover. Carrots are doing splendidly here, as you can see. A bit of glare on this, but really good. Again, growing better here than on the allotment. There's a little bit of damage on them, a little bit of woodlouse probably eating them, maybe a bit of a snail or a slug or something, but not too bad. So let's take a look at the fruit garden. Most of the things in pots, or these galvanised bins, are blueberries, and they seem to do pretty well. We're getting a pretty good crop off those. We have got a few raspberries in here, but to be honest, I don't really know why I bother, because we've got so many raspberries on the back border there. So I think eventually I'll transition all of these over to blueberries, because we get a, as I say, a really nice crop of blueberries. And this is the only, well, there's lots of glare on that. This is the only plant that's really mature that we've got. This is a couple of years old, and yeah, it's cropping very nicely. We're still only getting a couple of handfuls a day, but to be honest, that's enough. And then tomatoes all need a bit of watering. Getting shadow here, but and these are potatoes that we cropped a while back and have replanted. These are the ones we replanted just with potatoes from the supermarket, some Vivaldi. This one looks like it's been eaten by something, probably slugs and snails or something. So we'll probably pull that one up and see what's actually going on. And I've got some peppers and some more tomatoes, more peppers, more tomatoes, more peppers. Actually, some of these peppers are growing outside, doing pretty well. Not fantastic, but pretty well. And then of course we've got more tomatoes here. In fact, we're getting more ripe tomatoes off these outside pots than the ones in the greenhouse. And that's the greenhouse over there in the neighbour's garden. And we're getting a fantastic crop of tomatoes over there as well, and just so many cucumbers and lots of peppers as well. The reason that these tomatoes look really battered is that the apple tree fell over in the wind last month, and it fell on top of them and broke some of the stems off and things. And there's what's left of the apple tree. It's just being gradually cut up and put in the green bin. So the raspberries down here are fabulous. I've got raspberries down the allotment as well, but they never make it home. I just use those for snacking. And yeah, these are just absolutely luscious. And of course, you know, I mean, I'm eating these every single day, handfuls and handfuls. And then we've got our strawberries. Oh, we've still got a few. So they've been fantastic. I don't think they'll last very much longer now, but for the month that we had them, they were great. So I think we'll finish off there. That's the end of the kitchen garden tour. And you can see we've had quite a lot of dry weather. Though the lawn has been watered a bit, it's not looking that great. It's starting to get a bit patchy. So I'll see you again in a month in the kitchen garden, and I think the next tour is in a week's time, and I think that is Jenny's plot. So anyway, if you like this tour, give it a thumbs up. Any suggestions, hints and tips are gratefully received, as I'm very much a newbie gardener. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon.